1, 2.
Somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Somewhere
now
in the world.
You got it going on
actually, there. It's actually somewhere in the world. It's actually what's it?
What's the matter, mate? You seem all discombobulated now. You got two things going on.
Yeah. It's all good though. It's all good. I was just thinking about something, but I don't think it should open. The opening gambit shouldn't be what I was about to say. That opening gambit, and then no, take your time, bruv. Oh, wait, it's all right.
Who?
Nah, you already Marius. I'm saying Marius, take his time. He said he's going to be like. Cool.
But this is awfully weird for me as well, because we got this dualistic thing going.
Yeah, it's all good for the brain, man. You know what I mean? Good for the brain. Welcome, ladies. And for those of you who are wondering what the hell's going on, right? You see, right now we're just getting ready to set up. Right, we're getting ready to set up for the podcast that you're listening right now. Currently, one of my colleagues, one of the Right Honourable Khan is in the house, but the Right Honourable Marius is
Yeah.
We decided, and again, this is just us showing you our process. We wanted you to come along for the entire ride, and rather than you come on when the lights are switched on and the sound is up, we thought we'd invite you just before the lights are switched on and the sound is up, so you can really see what's going on in the background.
That's very good. That I like the way they can visually see what we're doing in the background.
See, if we give them we put the images in there for them to like articulate it.
So we could get it. Yeah, we could do.
Like for example, right now I've got the podcast here from my on the iPad on my little station right here, and the iPad is open, and you guys can hear me. That's the audience. You listeners can hear me right now. But simultaneously, on my other device, my phone, we currently have the Right Honourable Carl and the Right Honourable Marius, and we're in our House of Lords. Yeah, see, and we're in our House of Lords little external chat, which is what we do before we then come into the podcast. So it's all happening at the same time right about now because we could do that.
I kind of like what you did there, mate. I've got to mute my mic because obviously I've also got the other device open so I can hear Marius. Right, this is a quick one, right? As this is all going on, ladies and gents, this is happening, right? The show ain't even started yet, but it kind of has. Isn't it weird? Right? Like Yanni just mentioned there, we've got a video call going on in the background. We can still see each other, which is kind of cool because we're also recording this as well. And Marius is opening a pack of coffee to make a coffee. Rest assured, he's not actually using a spoon. He's just pouring the hot water into the fresh jar of coffee. That's what he's doing. And we can see him doing it. Right, but one of the questions I did want to ask, as we're all up in the background now, and Yanni's now disappeared from the actual Spotify podcast that we're doing. Marius, are you podcasting from home, and are you going to be using your podcasting suite?
I haven't said anything else.
Okay, not that time. I'm sure some of you's heard that as the microphone's picking up the phone. Yeah, well, we're still in the other room. We're still on Spotify right now for podcasters. Spotify for podcasters, to be more precise, is where we record the said House of Lords, especially these long extended versions where we have a good old chat on a Sunday about some of the strange goings on in the world or some kind of points of view that we're maybe cultivating within ourselves. I myself am no exception for exploring the rather diverse points of view that one can harbour within their own experience. Marius just muted his mic there. Did you see that? I can't believe that. So Iani's gone, right? Iani's gone. Marius is gone. And it's just you and I. All of us here. Here he is. But he doesn't know he's here yet. Has he got his headphones on? Plus he's still eating. He doesn't know that we know he's eating, but he's eating away.
They always seem to get me whilst I'm eating.
We forget that we're still on a call. It's absolutely nuts. So until Marius, right, comes and joins us, we're not going to start officially, i.e. with the intros and everything else.
No.
We're not going to do that. We're going to wait until Marius gets here.
Yeah, when he gets here. You know, like British Rail eventually.
And we're going to need you to tell him off. We're going to need you to tell him off so he can set up his stuff at home and award himself that time period to do his podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
He deserves that. He deserves.
He does.
He deserves that reward. Marius deserves to reward himself with that time.
And I think it would benefit the home life as well, you know, hearing the complexity of which he expresses himself and his understandings.
Definitely. Because I didn't want it to echo.
All right. Plus, it's one of them things I've noticed on the podcast. I don't know why that we ain't started it, so we can talk about it. Right? Is that I don't know what it is. I can always hear you in my headphones, but for whatever reason, sometimes I can't hear you. When the podcast is finished, we listen back. You're kind of in and out, but kind of in a different way. And then you say, right, let me tell you something, right? And then it's all back over. And then you get do you know what, right? And then
I think what it is that, you know what it is also, once I get to the point of where I close the door, and then no one's making any noise outside of that point, then I can leave the microphone up. I can sit comfortably and leave the mic up and stuff. Right now I've been turning it down you know what?
Have you got
I've
you got a noise gate on your mixer?
The noise gate's on right now. If I take it off,
cool.
See, you hear that all that?
Yeah, I can hear all that. So yeah, just leave your noise gate on.
See,
and leave your volume up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just you're not DJing now. You don't have to press with your sliders and your knobs and stuff. That's it. Just get your levels, where they are. And
once a DJ, always a DJ. I mean, literally, this podcast, right? Think about this. The DJ's like, who was I thinking? Like, what's that name? Pop Pickers from back in the day, from way back in the day. I can't remember his name. It'll come back to me. Before Tony Blackburn. What's his name? Famous dude. Not Noel Edwards. Nah, I'm talking about, it'll come to me. I used to work with one. Vance. Mr. Vance. Is it Jimmy Vance? What's his name? Mr. Vance.
I don't know.
Famous old school radio DJ. But this is what they did. They had the microphone and the boom.
Yeah.
Right? They were in their studio. Do you know what I mean? They'd hit a tune, and then they'd be talking to you like this.
Yeah, with the volume up and down, and everything else. But technology's come on such a thing now, right? That I just need to press a button.
Yeah,
it does all that for me. It'll do, like, if I've got some backing music in the background, it'll bring it down as soon as I start speaking. As soon as I stop, bring it back up.
Yeah, you see that? See, that's the reason.
Yeah, that's cool.
See, what the thing is, though, I did invest in a small something, right, just to get us going.
No, don't talk your stuff down.
No, oi. Look, I did, because I was skeptical, right? So let me just start with a little thing. I got a little something, right? This is going to be my mobile gear now.
Yeah.
Because now I got to go and get the real thing, because I haven't got any buttons that I can just press, and as I'm talking, the shit goes down. I don't have that. I mean, it's all manual. Yeah, it's the starting, so it's a starter kit. So I got to go professional. Yeah. So that's what I got, and I see my eye on one. I got my eye on this one professional gear. Podcast gear, bruv. Because mine. Remember, you guys got some good stuff, right? You guys got the good stuff, right? And I went in. And I went in. Oh well, oh well.
You should be in a podcast then, shouldn't you, mate?
Yeah, mate. You know what I mean? Like, we'll plug in and let it go, and you're talking about, I can't hear you, Hanny. Because you're on your phone.
No, do you know what, Marius? The audience can't hear you. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? We can hear you.
Exactly, we're here.
The audience are waiting for you, mate. They're salivating.
Listen, the audience aren't doing nothing because us two are sitting here. They're waiting for you, bruv.
Oh, don't worry, man. I know you said 10, 15 minutes to the radio show for me, and then he starts the podcast, and it's like, you should be here now.
I thought he was talking Romanian then for a second.
That's what I thought too. I don't know. That's what I thought.
No, I really did, Marius. I really did.
Because I didn't know what he was talking about.
No,
Let me do my mic. Here you go. Can you hear me now, Marius? You all right?
What was we talking about prior to that? What was we saying?
We was talking about I think it's something about communication, but I'm not 100% sure. But I don't know what it was. But
Quality gear.
Quality gear.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. Quality gear. So basically, look, all I've got is this kind of shit, which is okay. Even the voice thing, the voice changer that you've got, mine's rubbish. It's like some auto-tune nonsense that shouldn't really be here. So I gotta go big. I gotta go bigger.
You see,
you know what I mean?
I totally get you. The first one that I bought, right, had nothing on it. It was a tiny little black box, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought, all right, let me see what they're saying. I think it was about 20 quid. Right, 20, 30 quid. I thought, all right, let me give that a whirl, see what they're saying. And to start off with, it worked really well. Do you know, for what I wanted to do, to interact with the apps on a level that I wanted to do, I was like, okay, so this is how it works. Right, and then somebody said, how do you get your audio? So, a little device like this. So some people bought some and they were like, oh, that's brilliant. And then I was looking at mine, I was like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with my one now, right? Because I started looking at others. And then I spent less than $100, less than £100, right, on this other piece. And yeah, it's good and everything, but like I've said to you before, my business partner and I, we kind of do this kind of thing where we teach people podcasting and sound engineering and all this kind of stuff. And we got one through the company. Now this one we got through the company is like a proper industry standard one, and I salivate every time I see it, and I'm kind of excited because we got an event tomorrow, Tuesday, but I'm leaving tomorrow. Where I can get it out of the box again and have a play, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, nice. Oh yeah, cool. But then I get home and I look at mine and I go,
Hey, you know what? It's true. It's going to do that. I didn't want to just buy something big out the box.
No.
Because it sits there and you're not really fully complimented with it all, and you get lazy because I'll just do what I need to do. Nah, as you get more into this and you become more, comfortable in what we're doing as we're having our conversation, ad-libbing and stuff like that, you kind of want something to match.
Yeah.
To match your imagination. Do you know what I mean? Something that could access your quick, injection of whatever you come up with, right? Or an enhancement that just does it. I mean, it's all right.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's cool. Thank you, fans. Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? I'll give you a bit of that.
Yeah, we'll give you.
Do you know what I mean? We'll give a bit of that.
Yeah, you see, that's all right. But I don't have much more.
Okay.
From that, I don't have much more from that. Scream. I don't have much more. So I was like, all right. And then also the aspect of, like, if I've had music coming in, I have to bring it down. There's a slider here that I got to bring up and down, right?
Yeah.
It's not dipping.
Yeah.
And then when there's no thing, back up again. No. So, and then also it's about this big.
Yeah, mine's not. Yeah.
It's fucking tiny. No, it's tiny. It's tiny. Yeah, no. Now that we've been doing this, I see some limitations in what I've got. So I'm going to give this one to my youngest daughter and let her start her little thing.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. But yeah, my goal is now on when I move into my next place and build my key. You know what I mean? And get the opportunity to build another studio. That's what I'm going for. The one that my business partner's got. Right, and I dare say from that point, that might even merge my direction as we upgrade within the company anyway. Do you know what I mean? One of them ones. It's just like, no, I'll look after this one.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You know. The story. When I saw Grandmaster Flash that time when I was like 16, and then I'm like, fuck, I want to become a DJ. So then I said I needed to get the Technics because that's what was going on.
So I'm laughing to myself, right? Because we're looking at the camera and we don't need to do this no more because Marius is sodded off.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Welcome, Marius.
Is he with us now?
He's with us. He's with us.
Right, because my iPad's closed up and everything. He's with us. How we doing?
He's with us.
All right, let's end this call now, right? I'll speak to you in a minute. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Ta-da. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that was us finishing that interesting. Hope you guys enjoy that weird, interesting 15 minutes of seeing us in the background. That's like a camera in the background or a microphone in the background of all of us before we come onto stage, before we get into the thing. So yeah, but Brother Marius, welcome. Good to see you, brother. How are you today?
Groovy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Short and sweet from Marius today.
We love that.
Yeah,
we love that. Welcome. Oh my gosh. I just made a mistake. I smoked the wrong cigarettes. Anyway, the story I was going to say real quick was the about the equipment, because we were talking about equipment. When I saw Grandmaster Flash at 16 in London, I said, I want to become a DJ. And I thought, right, but you're going to need the Technics 1200s, mate. You can't just have any old nonsense. You've got to have the Technics 1200s, and that's it. I was thinking, how am I going to do that? And long story short, I joined the Students' Union, right? I was as the social secretary. So that meant the one who actually puts on all the parties and does all of the college trips and stuff, all events, right? And then the next thing I do is sit through a 3.5 hour budget meeting in the common room in the college, right? To convince the tight ass fucking treasurer that you needed to spend 1,200 quid on 2 Technics 1200s, a PMX GLI 5000 mixer, an SA99, an SA55 amplifier, an SA something amplifier, and then these speakers. Fuck were they? But they were like 555. That one of the numbers was 555 of these speakers. I think there was Jammo. Yeah,
I was going to say Jammo or JBL.
Jammo. Yeah.
Their numbers like that.
Yep. Jammo speakers 555. Jammo 555s, and that was it. And so we got it because I said, we can do the radio station for the college. It'll be great. It'll really bring the atmosphere up, and it did. And then when it came to the holidays, right, we had another students' union meeting. It's like, all right, then what we can do about the equipment, because we don't want somebody coming in and break it and take it. And I heard him say, and I heard the treasurer goes, I'll tell you what, if we all take a piece home, right?
Oh,
and
no.
Then, right? And so I saw it, I waited, and when everybody had almost agreed, I hadn't agreed to anything, but everyone's like, oh, that seems like a good idea. Then I come in, and I chose specific people so carefully, man. I did it so smooth and quick. I was like, Bella, and because I'm, I was like, Bella, do you know anything about turntables? She goes, no. I went over there. Marjorie, do you know anything about turntables? I said, Robert, you a DJ? No. So you don't know really where to store the equipment, right? Whilst we're on holidays. They were like, well, yeah. I said, well, I'm a DJ and I've actually got a platform to actually store the whole thing on. My dad will come and pick me up in the motor, all the equipment goes in there at my house, and then when we're finished and when it's time to come back to college, we'll bring it back. There you go. Because I know what to do. Remember, I'm the social guy. I'm the DJ here. And they were like, yeah, that makes sense. So they say, we'll go with that. Dad, could you come and get me? Yeah. And what's this? Oh, this is equipment. My mum didn't see me. My dad didn't see me. I woke up, had my bath, had my breakfast, went back upstairs and started practicing. And that's what the whole summer holiday. The whole summer.
That'll do it.
Practice.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Just come out. When I finally come out. No. What am I talking about? No, wait. I got booked in the summer. I got voted in the summer. The thing was, okay, yeah. I think the first holiday was Christmas. And I can't remember. Shit. I know it was holidays came, and it just went to my house. And whilst it was doing that, I practiced. And I think it was Christmas and then Easter, because in the summer, when the shit was with me, that's when I started doing parties. So I spent like about 8 months, something like 8 or 9 months, just practicing at home, and then doing the stuff in the college on weekdays. And then when the holidays came, practice at home, right? And then summertime, when summertime turned around, I had the gear, and then me and my little sound system. Now we had Technics turntables, proper mixer. We had some speakers, and then we just could borrow like sound system, couple little cabinets, and we were rocking. Now we could do parties in the flats in Stockwell. Now we could do all kinds of stuff, and then that's how it started to develop. So, yeah, it's interesting. The stories that it's interesting how we pursue specific equipment in order for us to realize part of our purpose.
I think it's like anything, though, isn't it? It's tools. If you, especially men, we have an uncanny ability. It's like, I've got to do this job. Well, there's tools, there's gadgets to be got, and then we collect these gadgets to do this job. We that's kind of what we do. But I love that 6 months out, and then hit the town. That's kind of the way to do it. Practice your craft, learn your skills, and then go showcase them and kick up a vibe. So cool.
Yep. There's always going to be somebody. There was always going to be somebody stronger, right? There's always going to be somebody. There's always people out there that was already doing it. I just wanted to at least, when I went out there, people to smile and say, yeah, it sounded good. I felt I had a chance, and I felt like when I got to the DJing bit, because I was already in band, but when I got to the DJ bit, I thought, if I don't step in the right way here, I can't see myself being up front with a lot of things. I'll just stay in the band, being a drummer, be behind the cymbals and all that stuff, right? But I think seeing what he was doing and seeing the difference in the transference of musical energy as a DJ and as a band member, right, and experiencing both types of it's pretty neat. I must admit, I felt very fortunate to be in that league. Yeah.
See, I've had I don't know what we're talking about, but it seems like we're talking about this. I've had a few experiences, especially growing up in Southeast London. Kiss FM as a pirate radio station used to be on the estate. So we grew up around that kind of scene. I knew many of friends that had SL1210s, various mixers, and this, that, and the other, and had ample opportunity to learn and play on decks. But I always found myself wanting to be the other side, just out front, just in front of them speakers, and listening to where the DJ would take you. I always enjoyed that. But equally, I had the opportunity to play out a few times when I used to be on the radio. A few people turning around, there's a set here, there's a set there, you can go play there. And I did a couple of nightclubs, but I hated it. I hated and I know it's a strong word, but I really didn't enjoy playing to a crowd in that way, where people can come to you and say, "Oh, could you play this?" or "Have you got that?" It just bugged me. Rightly or wrongly, it just grated on me, having to conform, I suppose, to people's whims and their own little thing. I'd much rather be left alone and let me take you on this musical journey. So when I kind of went into the radio, I was a push and play DJ, old school kind of talk show push and play DJ. That's the way I liked it.
I wanted to actually do that, and I actually still do want to legitimately do legitimate like FM radio in that format, because I really like it. I just, I nearly did it in LA when I lived there. I went to some interview and stuff, and the next thing you know, I was like, well, okay, let's start. But I just didn't like the way they were start. There was something not quite right about it all. I just didn't make sense to me. But I can definitely say it's something that I would most definitely do. If an opportunity came for me to do a radio show, like a proper FM radio show, whether it's talk, whatever it is, especially a list, whatever it happens to be, I would definitely jump at the chance, for sure. I would jump at the chance.
See, I would have
I'll
had
take it.
one kind of not speculation. What's the word I'm looking for? One thing I would require was the speech thing, because I've been approached a couple of times over the years, but there was always that you can't say this, you can't say that, and again, that didn't sit with me. I said, well, I can't guarantee you that I'm not going to say that. But we can't have you on. Well, fair enough. Then that's the case. I'm not. It's that saying that you've heard me say a few times now. I'm not going to be less for other people's sensitivities. I'm just not. And the universe will act accordingly. You know, there will be that situation that will present itself as no, just as you are, mate. We want you just as you are.
There you go.
And that will present itself. And I go, thank you very much. And then they will see the broad, you know, spectrum of expressive understanding and comprehension, but equally wrapped up in an opinionated finger pointing human being that's having an experience.
You know, excuse me. So I would say this. I've just caught a little vibe here, and it says expression might well be a good topic for us today. Expression, because that's very multifaceted. It's it has so many different approaches, different uses. There are pitfalls with some, and there are rewards of gold with others, and it's definitely something that hasn't been mastered by the species. The species I mention is the human species, and maybe it's something that we could all, the three lords, could all delve deep. Marius, what say you, brother? How are you fixed with that?
I'm good at it. Expressions. Interesting. Well, let's see. Are we gonna do a proper start, or just we started long time ago?
That's the reason why I was going to say is we can do a proper start now. 27 minutes in.
27 minutes in. Here we are with the official start of this here podcast. I think it's the official 18th podcast, not one of the many pop-up podcasts. You need to look out for them as well. The pop-up podcast that the House of Lords do. We appear all kinds of places. And it is that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where it is the House of Lords, hosted by myself and the fabulous Yanni and the Right Honourable Marius. And this here episode, we're going to be talking about expression. Express yourself. Don't what?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Cool. Express yourself, ladies and gents. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Expression. I saw a poll today. Oh, what a tune. Yeah, what a tune. I saw a post today, actually, about the press here in the UK, right? In relation to censorship and stuff like that. Apparently, trust in the press, the worst press for telling fibs. Would you believe this, right? You ready for this? Buckle yourselves in, ladies and gents, no matter where you are in the world. The worst press for telling the truth for the past 4 years. England. Imagine that.
What?
Yeah. 4 years in a row. England. Worst press for telling the truth.
Really?
Really?
Wait, hold on. In
like
look,
the G8 or you know, the G8 countries, right, or whatever it is, you know, whatever it is.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm, yeah.
But yeah, the worst.
Right, okay, so here's the thing, mate. Because
yeah,
I'm curious,
that was
bro.
the worst in Europe, wasn't it? They were looking at Europe. I think I seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst in Europe?
Well, still.
Yeah.
Now, was it the worst of all?
I don't know about worst of all, but it was certainly
Bad.
Bad. Do you know what I mean? It's bad. It's bad. Of all the places in the world, right? And you think, hang on a minute, what? We're worse than them? Yeah. Yeah. I had no idea. Yeah, no, it's bad. Right? It's bad. And apparently, distrust in the government is up by 62%. 62% of people in the country don't believe that the government is telling the truth. 76 or something like that % of people believe that the press in this country are diabolical and liars. Right? This is what brings me on to this point, right? What brought me up to this point, right? Self-censorship within society, people have expressed through a survey done of loads of people, is up by some stupid amount. Well over 50%. People are censoring themselves just to express themselves in everyday conversations through fear of the cancel culture and appraisals from opposing views.
You know what? It's pretty nuts, isn't it?
It's bad.
It's pretty nuts. And I'm trying to work out when it was that I've had to consider the words or my written word. I have to now start to think back. Now, when did I just write any old shit and no one said fuck all? And then when did I write stuff where the thing that I've written it on has come up to me and said, "Oi, excuse me, could you we don't agree with what you've said. We don't. And we don't know you, but we don't agree with what you said." Now, in that statement, what you may deduce is that we watch everything you type amongst your friends. We watch everything you type on every part of your posts, your platforms, and if we deem it in some way threatening to who we are, the small, bald, tiny willied men and the non-vaginaed women of the world, then yes, we will tell you directly, no, we will cancel you, we will censor you, we will put you in Facebook jail, for example, for a week. We will kick you off of Instagram for 2 weeks. We will talk shit to you in your email through your distributor if you are on Spotify. So yes, this is the culture. If you want to exist in our world, you will do and abide by our rules. This broadcast is over.
It's okay. I have a little caveat to that, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the trick isn't in the ever-changing world, is that use your mouth. Speak. For that can be manipulated. And if it comes to light, you can turn around and say that. Have you seen what, my dead uncle from 400 years ago can do on TikTok now? I mean, seriously, I saw him doing like some wicked dancing the other week. I saw Gandhi reading a Hitler speech Tuesday. Right? So, speak, ladies and gents, speak. I say an awful lot. I really do. I type and write very little.
This is the reason why I thought that expression would be a good topic.
Expression is
like,
good though.
Because how can we express? When are we going to ask our first question?
Which is what?
Do we still express ourselves? Or are we now reciting what we have been programmed?
I reckon you could restructure that sentence a bit because it's far too vague. Do we express ourselves? Every little thing expresses itself one way.
Have we lost the ability to express our individual uniqueness through our daily lives, reflected to our communities? Have we lost that ability due to the overbearing censorship of expression?
Well, I'll come in at this first then and go, no. No, we haven't lost the ability to express ourselves. Not at all. However, we still have the moral compass and the strength of character to express ourselves authentically without fear of reprisal. I would say that is now questionable. We are seeing, as the numbers and the statistics I mentioned earlier on, that people at the moment are in fear of expressing themselves, especially some of their most inner darkest thoughts, what their concerns about, what their particular views are, what their philosophical views are on in the world, holding opinions on education and what's being taught to children at the minute. People aren't speaking out because they're fearful. Anybody that's holding conversations and goes into various institutions of learning, you can hear dialect and conversation being expressed by various professionals, catch them outside of that environment, and they hold a very different view. And in more cases than not now, is that you'll hear them say, oh, I can't say this in a lecture, or I can't say this at work, I can't say this within the environment that I am a professional in, because they'll be ridiculed and ousted. So the ability to express ourselves is more than there. I mean, more than capable. But are people strong enough to do so? What's your take, Marius? You're awfully quiet on the subject thus far.
I'm awfully quiet again.
No, it's awfully listening. Come on, what's your take thus far? What are you observing on this issue?
What am I observing? I'd say two different way of looking at it. And one you just touched now about expressing ourselves. But the other one Yanni is talking is about the censorship, isn't it? So it's not that we don't have the ability, it's just the fact that because of the censorship out there, a lot of people are becoming more aware of what they can and cannot say and limit themselves for expressing themselves as they are, as they think, as they see it. This is what I can say so far for listening to you two guys. Yeah, it is an interesting time to be alive, isn't it?
It is. It is. I'd say it is, certainly, especially with what's going on in the world. There's so many things going on in the world that people are in fear of discussing. And I suppose censorship is another one of those issues. People are censoring themselves through fear of being censored. So you could certainly say that whatever it is that's going on is having a psychological effect on people's ability to express themselves and their self-worth. Because anybody that's got sort of like a strong ounce of self-worth within themselves knows that there ain't nobody out there that can stop me from saying what I'm saying. Apart from you stitch my mouth and cut my tongue out, we have a choice that we can speak. We talk about the censorship laws. You can't say this, you can't talk about that. Well, you can. And we do
have that choice. Don't you have to exercise your right of speaking up?
There you go. This is the point where I was going. It becomes a choice of an action. You weigh up the situation. Now you have strangers telling you how to think, what you can say, and when you can say it, and where you can say it, and what you can't.
Well, aren't we as a species, are we not a species that expresses itself?
Well, absolutely.
Isn't self-expression reflective expression? Isn't that part of our genuine makeup? Like genuinely human, take away everything else and that's what we're doing. Because if that's what you're doing, right, then what is this innate need of eroding that which is human? Because to me, that's what it feels like. If you're going on about, man, you guys can't express yourselves no more, man. Can't say shit. You just got to stay stum. Yeah, man. No, man. But we love to say shit, man. We talking because we're human and we got these mouths, man. We got these brains and we talk about all kinds of stuff. We compliment a bird when we see her down the street. She looks lovely. We say, "Oh, I love you. You look lovely." You know, we see a geezer, man. He's a proper, looks like a proper dude, man. We tell him, "Look, man, yeah, you look like a governor, bruv. Yeah, what can I work for you?" You know what I mean? That's how we are. We see a nice car. We see it driving down the road. Oh, look at that Jag. God, love one of them, mate. That's us expressing our needs, our wants, our little, you know, even if they're little shallow dreams, we're expressing them. When we get dressed, sometimes, look, depending on who you are, you might want to walk out in a potato sack. That's up to you. That's your expression. That's what's going on. You know what I mean? You might choose to do that, right? Some of us might choose to go out and wear all red, or red and blue, or wear blue, or wear black, or white, silver and grey, you know, just because we're expressing ourselves. If you're into the Raiders and you're an American and you're into the LA Raiders, right? You're gonna be wearing, or whatever they're called now, the bloody, or whatever they are. Anyway, you're gonna be silver and black, right? You're gonna express the support for your team. We are natural. We express ourselves naturally. When you're trying to, you know, you're out there as a bloke, or even as a young lady, as a young bloke. You know what I mean? You're out there. You see a member of the opposite sex, and you're attracted to them. You find out whether they're attracted to you. Hopefully, what you're wearing, how you look, how you've kept yourself, will express part of who you are before they've even said anything. Their eyes have to look at you, and hopefully, what you've done is enough of an expression to draw more than just the look. So tell me again, ladies and gentlemen, how we're not creatures of self-expression, and why the fuck? Why the actual fuck is that being attacked right now? Gentlemen, please enlighten me.
Well, in today's world, you know, with what is being suggested and proposed by leading powers, we are creating a world that would rob us of Shakespeare, that would rob us of Wordsworth, would rob us of Byron, would rob us of Beatrice Potter, J.K. Rowling, their work. Because to speak, to conversate with another living being outside of yourself, you run the risk of causing offense. We run the risk of causing offense just by how we think. It's how we learn. It's how we grow. It's how we develop the neuroplasticity with our brains to circumnavigate complex issues with various individuals. Being able to develop the linguistic plasticity to dance throughout various personality types. But to hone those skills, we often make a clusterfuck. We say the wrong thing in an inappropriate situation, something comes out. It's how we learn, it's how we grow. But it appears we are living in a world now where they want to eradicate the risk of someone unknown to anyone of taking offense. It's a mad world. Beautiful, but mad.
Sounds like the proverbial puff pastry being protected for some weird reason, but hey, that's just...
How
yeah.
dare you?
You know,
Hey, look.
that word offense is like, when did we start to get offended of, not we as we here, but as species, to get offended from little tiny whatever things? Because it sounds like it's some seeds that were planted, like this is not right to say, this is not right to say, and then slowly that expanded over generations, that it became what it is today. You hardly can say anything because you're going to offend everyone. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people by just saying something, because you have no right to say it.
So what is offense? Offense must be putting up a barrier.
Taking
Offense.
a right away from someone.
Right. Offense. A fence. Offense. The garden fence. putting up a fence.
Let's kind of bring it back to a more tangible kind of experience with this self-censoring and expression. I can certainly observe, right, that dialect and how people express themselves, including myself to a degree, has changed over the years. There still is. Nothing fundamentally has changed as people's behavior patterns. But not so long ago, people could say, we could express our dislikes. We weren't cancelled for our dislikes. This notion now is why these broad blanket terms like hate speech have robbed us of our ability to express ourselves. And the moment you make something hateful because somebody's offended, right, you are thereby taking a machete to people's choice of words on situations. We touched upon this before. You can't make a human emotional crime. It's a process. Like a heartbeat, for fuck's sake. But this is the pitfalls of a society that doesn't pay attention and keep those powers in check. Why we were busy being distracted with something else. I'm reminded of this John Lennon phrase, life is what happens to people while they're busy making other plans. Why we were busy making other plans. All this trickery and word cryptography was taking place in our positions of authority that make the rules, and we were too busy doing other things.
Right.
And now we're here. And to even have the conversation about the situation we're in because of our lack of due diligence is now a crime to even talk about the situation that we find ourselves in. So you have to make that choice. Are you going to conform to those outside of your circle of influence and those that do not know you to their comprehension of how you should express yourself? Or are you going to be your authentic self, putting your best foot forward, but knowing that you're not infallible? And sometimes we may say some shit that people don't fucking like swear words and cuss words. The moment you have your power, in this instance, like you own your expressions, then you can see the absurdity of it all. And that's the truth. You can see the absurdity of it all. All these people conforming. It's really bizarre, right? And I'm not suggesting that you be a tactless fucking oaf, right? There is a certain amount of decorum that is developed through circumnavigating conversations that are outside of your comfort zone that bring about greater linguistic capabilities within your own, which in turn develops a sense of occasion. You're not going to go to a particular occasion, let's say a funeral, for instance, and, start acting unaccordingly.
According to who?
According to who? Moral compass, really, and just good taste.
Right.
We could go deeper, but carry on.
Well, in this instance, I can hear you both laughing, right? But in this instance, then there's a certain amount of respect that is required of the individual addressing the situations it's in. But if you want to go out there like Marius, according to who and fucking what is good and what isn't, go to a family gathering. I implore any of you, if you want to see the sort of like consequence of ill behavior in the wrong environment, go somewhere that requires you to act a particular way, act the complete opposite, and see how you're viewed upon. But when it comes down to expression, there's this beautiful saying out there, is that you can say absolutely anything you want in this world. It all depends on how it's said and how it's structured.
That's also true.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
go ahead.
What do you mean, go ahead?
Well, yeah, I'm not the only fucking person here. Come on.
I thought you were the only fucking person.
I've been waiting for you, man. I've just been chilling. But yes.
Ignite your vitality. Meet the LifeSpring Gold Card, a quantum leap in wellness. Revitalize your bioenergy, boost stamina, ease aches, and improve your mental focus. Shield yourself from electromagnetic frequencies emitted from cell phones, laptops, and other smart technologies. Restructure tap water, revitalize food, and harmonize everything around you. Elevate well-being with LifeSpring, made in the USA. Order today from VanessaElston.com.
Very, very strong points. Very valid and essential points made right there. Because I have to be responsible for myself, right? I thought, right? I have jurisdiction over me, okay? Over all my limbs, head, eyes, and all that. You know, me ask, me tag. You know, I got good jurisdiction over that. I use it in the way my toes and all that. Yeah, jurisdiction. Okay, cool. And then obviously what's going on inside, right? Ain't got no barcode. Some corporation owns it. Yeah, so my mind is mine. Larynx, all of that stuff. It's all mine. Yeah, so so I'm just curious then about why just from a personal perspective, I'm trying to think of what words somebody what words somebody could write or speak, just words, and if it's just them spouting off and they're over there somewhere doing, and that's all they're doing, spouting off. Right, I'm trying to think what words could really cause me to be like, oh no, they said that, and that's an absolute outrage, right? I can't have that. And that. Now let me see now, what word? Let me just think of a word out there. I'm just going to throw it out there. Oh yeah, I suppose I should be responsible. And right about now, ladies and gentlemen, you may about to be triggered by some of the words that are about to leave the Lord's mouth. Here now ends the disclaimer. Yeah, so, you know, let me see. I'd try and sit there and think about words, yeah, that are supposed to trigger me, yeah. So, and as I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, I want, man, there's not much, is there? I don't even think there's much really at all. It's like, what's supposed to really trigger me for me to go, no bollocks, and, you know, to get crazy, right? For me to shout, right? For me to get annoyed, for my heart rate to change, right? For my blood to be different, for my water to be different. What word, right? Just of somebody just talking, right? Because that's what we're on about, that, aren't we? We're on about just having a conversation, and then somebody overhearing a conversation, you're offended. I'm even talking to you, love. And then you have to look away from the attention. So you see, when I'm talking to you, the listener, and to my colleagues, right? I'm talking to you like this, and I'm using the mic off thing just to give you an example of something. Because imagine that, right? We've got communication, blah, blah, blah. This is where we've got the energy. You know, everyone's cool. We're talking, we're laughing, we're making jokes about each other. Not a problem, right? Having the most fun. Now, and if you've raised in the places that the three of us have been raised, then you can make fun all you want. And it's not taken personally, nothing, because we understand that the actual relationship is one of actual love and respect. And also, we're quite aware of intention is the thing that comes before language. Okay? So, in that instance, right, we don't take offense. But somebody walking past has got nothing to do with the situation. In fact, I've had to look away. Who are you? Oh, my name's Marjorie Proops. Right, I disapprove of what you said. Do I know you? No, you don't. No, you don't know me. But you disapprove of what I said. Yeah, I disapprove of what you said. And what organisation did you say you were with? See, now she has to tell me what organisation she's with, right? Because I didn't know there was an organisation that was floating out around where, when you're speaking about anything, chilling with your mates, your family, your loved ones, right? Your key spars, that the words that are going on, which are kind of private, I didn't realise that could be looked into, a man saying, no, man, you can't even say that thing amongst your friends. So that's why I say, so what agency are you from? I'm not from an agency. So do you? No, I'm just some busybody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But the reason why I just did that was because, to me, at the end of the day, everyone has to. You don't have to. But at the end of the day, let's go back in our minds, all of you, if you're listening, let's go back in our minds to when you could just talk and be cool. And then let's try and see when the first time you kind of said something and somebody looked at you and said, oh, you can't say that. You're like, what are you talking about? I actually don't know when that was for me, to be frank. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't know what century, what decade, I don't know. It's just, as we're having this conversation, it's just it now dawns more so that, yeah, this is kind of a reality in the world, and that there is a mechanism that I'm kind of recognizing within myself, within my speech, within my dialect, within my expression. There's a new mechanism that I know wasn't there.
I love the question that you put forward, mate. I love the question that you put forward, for the simple reason I was thinking about it, and I don't know. I'm no way unique in this way, but I was certainly one of those kids that said, you know, when people say you can't say that, I said, I can. Watch. And I'd say, do you know what I mean? And there was consequences. Don't get me wrong. There was more than one, and so on. There was great consequences. But yeah, I was kind of always one of those kids that said, you know, and I'm very much an adult that still does. You know, and like I mentioned earlier on, getting into radio and stuff like that, and saying some of the stuff I used to say. People would, you can't say that. You can't say that on air. So I can watch next week. and I would, you know. So I suppose I'd have to take myself out of that particular question, because I was always that kid that said.
You see, right. And Marius, what about you?
I was just, as I was listening to you guys, I was thinking, are we some weird bloody species, aren't we? When you think about it, going back to the Roman times, people will cheer and applaud for killing other people with the gladiators and all that sort of thing, right? I mean, can you imagine any other animals around just forming a circle and saying, okay, let's cheer on for these two that they're going to kill each other, which one is going to die? Right. At the end, decide, kill him or save him or whatever. And I'm like, how do you find this to be something that you call entertainment, by killing someone else of your own? And it's just entertainment. He died. It's nothing. Fuck it. And then we get 2,000 years later, you can't even say shit.
Here's the irony, right? Right? If they were to bring a show back now in a country where it was legal, people would watch it all over the world. It'd have superstar ratings. It'd be like Running Man. Remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger film? Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah. People would love it. People would absolutely love it, right? They would glorify that what is criminal, and imprison those acting and reenacting that what society glorifies. Imagine the movie industry today.
I mean, you know, I mean, don't think for. See, that's the thing. When that came out, all the way back then, when that came out, I can't remember how, but it didn't seemed like a far-fetched idea to me. When that movie came out, Running Man and Schwarzenegger and that whole bit, and then watching the whole thing, yeah, it didn't seem. In fact, I got my first nudge or comprehension that, oh yeah, I can, like, I saw with James Caan, and I thought, yeah, you know what, I can see that happening. I can see that happening, maybe just as a national sport or something. The rollerball, James Caan and a few of those other old cats, the cats from back in the day, the big movie kind of dudes from back in the day. Yeah, they're in rollerball, man, and that was some crazy movie. That was war, like war was fought between teams like that. That was how war between countries was fought. Rollerball. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, it's an interesting movie as well. And then Running Man is in the same sort of vein. Everything cheered on by people on TV, this, that, and the other. And I thought to myself, so what would be and I said to myself, all right, then, I see that happening. But where's the start? Where do you get in? And I know it's now respected and blah, 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 this, that, and the other. But there was, when I saw MMA come in and, UFC come in, I said to myself,
here it
that's
is.
The start.
Yeah.
That's the turning point towards that. This is the beginning.
This is the turning sport to blood sport.
Because you've already got the cage, you've already got the, do you know what I mean? The broken ankles, the broken shin bones, right? You know what I mean? And it's all kind of full contact, and it's knocking a man out if you're not careful, kind of thing. And it's a bit bloody, right? So, but you're in that cage environment. Yeah, you've got the sweltering fan base from all around the world. Yeah. So all it takes is for a couple more little, what I'd like to call societal nudges, and then boom. Maybe if it's done the right way, it won't be an underground and weird. But if it's done the proper way, then do you know what I mean? You'll see it like it might be a certain scenario. It might even already be rocking and rolling. Who knows?
What surprised me, that whole Squid Games and things like that. We've heard horror stories, right? Here we go from the
Rat Race. You remember Rat Race?
Rat Race.
Vaguely rings a bell.
Yeah, too. What? Go on.
What's that?
Go on. Expand, mate. Expand.
Oh well, it just came to my mind. I was like, oh, that movie. Do you remember Rat Race? And I'm trying to remember it now because I did see it. And it's the same. It's the same kind of game where you have to survive the race.
Is it Rat Race or Death Race?
Death Race.
Oh, Rat Race.
Okay.
Let me search it.
But yeah, I kind of get the principles, and then why are you doing that? You're right, you are. Somebody said to me, but we're living in a civilized time, we live in a world of technological advance. I said, don't ever delude yourself, right? This will put you in a really comfortable position within life, right? And I heard this saying once, just before I say that, and it was, there's nothing more lucky than a man that accepts his position in life, right? Here's the thing, right? If everything was to shut down, power, everything, food, the trade, the global economics, everything was just to shut down, right? We'd have a crazy scenario developed, right, where mobs would, begin to gather in the cities, and they would be hunting for resources. Right? In the countries, farming communities will kind of become a lot more closer.
Yeah.
Equally, you'll have the scavenger, a bit like Mad Max.
Yeah.
All of those kind of individuals that will, rip your clothes off and fucking chain you up, and just all the horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the depravity of human behaviour will present itself.
Oh yeah.
And then amongst all that, right, you'll have those that are incredibly wealthy with bunkers, with air filtration systems, hydroponics, underground farms, technological devices, still communicating with other communities of the same.
Yep.
And you'd have this weird multiverse existing on Earth all at once, you know, from the incredibly technologically advanced to the point of med beds, you know, human beings living to 400 years. And then you'll have poor little Sarah, you know, she's 3 and she's scavenging through the council estates, trying to avoid the packs of roaming predators.
Right.
And that's kind of the ism, you know, that would present itself, and you go, really? We're civilized, are we? That's, you know, the right, like you say, the right prod, the right poke, you know, we got Mad Max all over again.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if we're going down another particular way, the multiverse is presenting sort of like Judgment Day, AI, you know, all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, I suppose the common denominator in all of that is the quality of people thinking, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, Rat Race was a comedy. I don't know why I had an idea, but it was a comedy with John Cleese. Do you remember? It was similar with 6 teams that they had to go and get some money or something, $2 million or prize or something like that.
That's right.
I can't remember
British.
what it said.
You ain't, yeah. Because that whole group of people racing across a destination for a prize became something that was part of a movie trend. I remember Spencer Tracy, Phil Silvers in a movie called The Big W. You've got the Cannonball Run. You've got there's a certain vibe in movies that was something where people journeyed. In the Rat Race was with comedy. Yeah, John Cleese sequels. The other stuff was comedy too. Yep. That's very, very familiar. You might have even there might have even been a Carry-On that actually did a chase kind of race across a certain space, picking up something. There might have been something from Sid James and the Boys, Kenneth Williams, you know, Barbara. Yeah. What's her name? What's that woman's name again?
Windsor.
Barbara Windsor. That's it. Yeah. Barbara. Yeah.
Well, on that note, it is about that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to hand you over to the right honourable, sensational, illustrious, unforgettable, the man with the velvet voice.
Screech. Hold on. Did we even do
what?
The man with the velvet voice. I was about to say, we haven't even done a commercial yet.
Well, gents, before we go into this quick ad break, have you got any personal experiences? I mean, are you aware of yourself right now, environments where you censor yourself?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Because not doing it makes the rift just roar, and your daughter, your youngest child doesn't want that type of energy in their environment. So I chose to censor myself when I am around her mum and her grandparents and her auntie.
So you'd say you act accordingly to suit the social situation?
I act accordingly to suit the social family situation. Indeed, I do.
Okay. How about yourself, Marius? Oh, so go on, Jan.
Oh, sorry. Because you see, that's not something that came like, oh, it's best just to do that. No, see, because I wasn't. I don't. Right? But I felt the reason why I decided not to is because for some apparent reason I felt if I were to pursue this, it somehow would be deemed within myself selfish, because I have the capacity to tolerate. So not doing so would be selfish. So that's the reason why.
Okay, that's a good answer. How about yourself, Marins?
Oh, well, myself. Well, I try my best to conform. Unfortunately, every time I try, I fail to conform for whatever reason. The core comes out, and then they will start the discussions that I've been asked not to have, because people may be triggered. And there will be a point in that particular event where I'll just let the cat out and it goes. So yeah, I try my best to be that good member of the society when I go, but the core self keeps just say it, and I'll say it, and then there it goes. Everything goes on fire. So there you go. That's I can't explain it. It's especially since 2020 with the COVID and all that, and all the little parties that we've been involved, all that. My miss is always like, can you please stop opening any discussions or say anything if anyone says anything about this and that? And I'm like, okay. And as soon as I get there and someone starts the subject, I'm out. Yeah, so that doesn't suit me. Conformity doesn't suit me for some reason. I do try though. Is that good enough?
There's no other hero there if it's good enough.
It's a brilliant story. Brilliant share.
I try my best.
We can but do that, mate. We can but do that.
That's brilliant. I'm just laughing because I'm laughing because of this, because it wouldn't really matter which way. It feels as if we had come to a point in history where it didn't matter what GA country you lived in. Didn't matter what culture didn't matter. This one thing, everybody acted the same. Everything was too similar. It was so almost like, here you go, let me just program these humans one time so that they can see that really, and then click. And then all these people across the world acting and thinking in the same way. That's the bit that I had to focus on. It weren't the minutiae, because as you and as the three of us have spoken about, it ends up as being minutiae. It's just minutiae to whatever else is happening, right? So the whole 4-year whatever minutiae of the real scenario. All these things as you go back, just minutiae of the real scenario. So yeah, that's it's just showing us that. So
yeah. What about yourself, Carl? I mean, I kind of know your answer for the listeners. What about yourself?
As earlier on, no, I seldomly censored myself. Sometimes I'd actually deliberately say stuff knowing that it would be taken in the way it was taken. But as my life's gone on, as the social circles that I interact with is increasing, and these social circles are of a particular ilk, I'm finding myself really kind of digging deep to find the linguistic patterns that I could express a comprehension of the issue that isn't triggering. So in a sense, yeah, I'm finding myself do it a lot more, which in turn kind of ignites it elsewhere. You know, where when I can take the collar off, so to speak, and then it's off. But then there's also that doubt, like, I said that out loud, didn't I? You see?
See, it's
But,
that mechanism that I said, isn't it? It's that mechanism that wasn't there before now.
Yeah,
Just
now it's permanently there, you know, because unfortunately, it's not fear of reprisal from somebody being offended. It's actually more on a professional level. The doors that open for a particular thing that one would be doing can quite easily close if they hear that you don't agree with their particular thing. Is this making sense?
Makes very, very good sense.
So it puts you into this linguistic fucking dance, you know, where you're circumnavigating the fucking landmines, right? But still trying to carry a message without this person going, "Oh my fucking God, I'm offended," right? And something must be done, right? Because that's what happens. I was offended, now something must be fucking done, right? So yeah, it's tricky in one instance, but equally, it's cheery in another, because you become aware of language patterns, you become aware of the dexterity of your comprehensions, and it develops the ability to express yourself in social strata that you're not quite accustomed to. That sounded like I was saying censorship is a good thing. Fuck that, it's not.
And by the way, when I say that I go off, I don't go off being, you know, an asshole or anything. But I'll just go off with the subject, and I'll just go deep into it. You know, I'll just, you know, I usually say, well, better that don't ask me any questions. So if they don't, then I don't have to answer. But if I have to answer, then I'm going to answer it as it is. From how I look at it, and I'm not going to try and just be, you know, sugarcoat or anything. I'm just going to be upfront. And people don't like when you're being upfront for whatever reason. They don't like it. It's a bit too much for some people. Not for all, but for some people, it's a bit too much. They become sensitive. And then I ruin their part. Funny when that happens. Apparently, I ruined someone's party that was at the party. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Apparently, yeah, I would be told, you know, yeah, it should be right. Yeah, no TT talk. And I did actually, and it, you know what? It's interesting.
No TT talk.
CT talk.
What's that?
Conspiracy.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So none of that. And I'm like, what? I just don't know what you're talking about. Why do you keep on using that term? I kept saying, why do you keep on using that term? It's ridiculous. Oh, it's not that. There's the proof. What are you talking about? Conspiracy. You know, conspiracy when you don't know what the fuck's happening, mate. It's like this. It's just, I mean, look.
But do you find that it's a very fine line of confusion between conspiracy and conspiracy theory? Because people use conspiracy theory for everything, even though it's a conspiracy that been proven with facts. It's just ridiculous.
It's well, look. First of all, okay, let's just be real about this. First of all, I think one of the main problems, right, which I see is a problem, and I also see, if I'm on the other side, it's an asset. It's a great asset. Is the fundamental lack of understanding of the true English language. That's basically it in a nutshell. Anything else to say? Because I'm enjoying the journey of really picking apart that type of stuff currently, seeing how people have used it to talk mass spells over people without those people actually knowing it. And these people are continuing on with their ceremonies and their things, thus holding the fans under some weird form of dubious energetic ciphering, vampiric energetic ciphering thing. Yes, that's all I can really say about that. Yeah, but due to the English language, due to the fact that people are singing lyrics, reciting lyrics on the bus, not realizing what those lyrics are actually pertaining to, because they were told by the pictures that it pertains to something else. But all it takes is for the word to be said into the atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have the ability to remotely do that, to make millions all over the country remotely sing your songs, chant your chants, say your lyrics, what are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, is that not a form of quantum expression? But is that not a form of quantum manipulative quantum expression? We finally go deep. We finally go deep.
When you mentioned lyrics, right? It was you reminded me of the thing that happened here in UK apparently with I think it was a lady that she ended up going to prison because she expressed herself online while one of her friends passed away. Her friend liked a particular song. I think it was from Tupac, or I can't remember exactly the artist that it was from. And she posted the lyrics of the song in remembrance of her friend, or because the friend passed away. And she got done for racist, something like that, because I think they had the particular words in that song that were triggered people, whatever. Even though it's a song, it's been out in the open, right? But because she was white lady and posted those lyrics, she ended up being taken to prison.
So she was taken to prison for the weaponization of lyrics that have existed years before the event.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, where are we? Welcome to Cloud Cuckoo Land. We hope you enjoy your stay here. Day is night and night is day. If you'd like to follow that doctrine for everything else, I think you'll be able to navigate your way through this.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Indeed, we are
I've
here.
come to talk with you again.
This is Cloud Cuckoo Land, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
That's what you call teamwork, baby, making a dream work. I'm telling you, that's comical timing right there, all for you, right now in this creative space. Could you imagine? It was like being drama at school, wasn't it? I know you loved it. I know you loved it. But it is about that time to actually have an advert, because we do have the Right and Honourable Marius coming up. So, Iani, give us some of those quantum power cards, my good man.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, is life amazing? Is it absolutely wonderful? Are you flowing? Are you living your best life? Are you, as a Right Honourable Carl says, high-fiving on a regular basis? If not, well, if you are, keep it up. You're doing great. You don't need this. You're all right. But if you're not, if you're feeling a little bit confused, your energy's low, your vibration's not where you would love it to be, well, I got a mate. She's over there in the UK, and guess what? You should have a chat with her, because we're talking about your quantum resonance and the fact that it probably needs reharmonizing. And what better way to reharmonize your quantum resonance other than to have a card that, as you keep it with you, it does just that. Wave it over your water, wave it over your food, and harmonize everything you consume. Put it next to you on your desk and use your computers and feel harmonized in that moment. If you'd like to know more about this, why don't you have a look and see Vanessa? Why don't you talk to her? Visit www.vanessaelston.com. Again, that's www.vanessaelston.com, and raise your quantum vibration.
That is vanessaelston.com for your quantum empowerment card. Equally, if you like to develop that grey matter, or wanted to make an investment on you, yes, you, not the extension, not some new wheels or a tune-up on the car, you, the very grey matter, the processing power that amplifies the quality or lack thereof of your life. Then double your toes into the worlds of quantum theology, quantum physiology, quantum. Your brain, fundamentally. Go download an app called the Mind Gym Club, available on Google Play and App Store. And if you're really enjoying some of the things that you can go along there, learning about flow state, neuroplasticity, asking yourself better quality questions, the why you think what you think, the why you say what you say, and the why you do what you do. Go and download the app. Put a little / in there when they give you an option to know how you hear about it. Put Carl in there. That would be a great help. But honestly, alternatively, just go download the app, develop yourself, and you'll be winning at life. Don't take my word for it. It's the truth. There we go. So we reached that part of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going to be handing you over to the right honourable, sensational man of mystery, the man of very few words. But when he does say something, oh my God, it's like fabulous. The right honourable Marius with What Comes Up.
That was so quick. He jumped straight in it. Yeah.
And say, what the fuck happened then? You just jump off a bridge. Disappeared. What happened?
What happened? Wasn't ready for it. What comes up? When I'm ever ready for that? That's a good question. What comes up? We've been talking about expressions. Okay. Censorship, expressions. Well, it is an interesting time to actually be alive, isn't it? To see the things that happen around us, with us, the interaction we have with our friends, the interaction we have with others, the censorship, the counseling of people expressing themselves. And it's interesting because for many years I believed that all these institutions out there are there to help people. Fool me, right? Yeah, fool me once, fool me twice. If you fool me the third time, then I'm the biggest fool in the world, right? Because when you look at all these institutions addressing mental health, addressing depression, anxiety, and you name it. It's coming up. How all of this censorship and all this canceling people of expressing themselves, how is this adding to it? Getting people a lot more depressed. Because they have to censor themselves. They have to be careful what they say because someone else may be offended. But can you offend anyone if that someone that's offended doesn't agree to be offended or chooses to be offended by what's been said, what's been expressed? Because it has to be two to be interactive in order for this to happen. And it has to be the opposites. It has to look at from a point where instead of coming together and dancing together in this experience called life, we choose the other side where we have to censor each other. We become the agent Smith from the Matrix, where we start censoring everyone around us, telling them what they can or cannot say, what's right, what's wrong. And when you look at it from that point, are we ever going to reach that point where we all going to say the right thing? I mean, what that may be. All say the right thing. It's like when I asked Carla earlier, right? That saying the right thing, who decides what's the right thing to say? Is it me? Is it Carl? Is it Annie? Or is it someone else? Why do people choose to be offended? Because this is what it gets me to. The only reason all of this is happening is because they choose is a choice. People choose to be offended because they've been told they have the right to be offended. But they forget that the other party has the right to express itself. Like they forget they have the right to express themselves. Because the censor, the one that censors what others are saying, the one that is getting offended by what others are saying, not realizing that they are offending the others, but not allowing them to express themselves. Because they won't allow him or her to express themselves. And then we start to become this forever fighting species, fighting with each other over things that are not really important. Yeah, what do you mean it's not important? I've been offended. Yeah, that's important to me. What are you talking about? Is it? Why? How is that helping you? Helping me to do what? I don't know. Helping you to grow? Helping you to have a happy life? Do you know what happiness is? Or does it mean? Oh, I am happy like I am. Are you? So how does offended and happiness sit together then? How can you be happy and offended at the same time? Isn't that a contradiction in its own right? Now, I'm not saying that there are not people out there that they may say things that are really extreme and can offend people. But the people that are getting offended, don't they have to do the work themselves and ask themselves, why am I getting offended? He's 5,000 miles away and he speaks whatever, he speaks his mind or he speaks her mind. Why am I getting offended by what they say? Why do I have to agree with it? If I disagree, do I have to get offended because I disagree? We live in an offensive world, don't we? I mean, looking at it, we live in an offensive world. everyone becomes, not everyone, I had to catch myself, you see, everyone, that's a generalization. But there's a lot of people that are offended. There's also a lot of people that don't give a fuck that others are offended. So how are we going to really solve this? What side does he have to give in or give up in order to agree on it? Or can we agree that you have the right to be offended if you want to, but that doesn't mean you have to cancel the other side that express itself, because at one point you will be expressing yourself and offend the other side. So guess what? No matter what, you will be offended if you choose to be offended. But at the same time, you can choose not to be offended and just accept that that person expressed themselves on how they understand the world and how they see the world, how they view the world, because we all see the world in our own way. We decode this reality in our own way. It's not the same. It may be similar in certain instances, but it's not the same. So when we realize that, wouldn't it be wise to allow people to be offended, but also allow people to express themselves? That's what comes up.
And there you had it, ladies and gents. The Right Honourable, illustrious, sensational, unstoppable, Right Honourable Marius, with that thumbs up.
You called me. I was like, what am I going to talk about?
You were certainly out the gate, though, once you got going, mate.
Yeah? Okay. I'll have to listen back to it.
Yeah, you were at the gate once you got going. Initially, when you went, no, you caught me off guard. I thought, there you go. There's an in.
The opportunity.
Yeah, there's the in right there. You know, but no, fabulous, mate.
Absolutely fabulous. In fact, to the point where I was like, man, it's something. When it was something that you said in amongst it that made me look and think to myself, that responsibility that they're not taking, that the offended are not taking, or the acceptance that they're not accepting. You know, why would you say such a thing? Why? I don't like it. You know, just it. And then you said, well, isn't it down to them? Aren't they supposed to be doing the work? And I'm just like, it will always boil down to those. I was in my head. I was like, actually, yeah. Is it? That's what was going on as Marius was speaking in my head. I was like, yeah, it does boil down to them, mate. Because you know what? I'm kind of getting sick and tired of it. Every time I take my responsibility and they don't take their trash out. What the fuck's that? So, but that's what I was thinking. My little dude was going, yo, nah, man, nah, fuck him, nah. It's theirs. Look, it's theirs. Look, it's got their name on it. Look, they eat that shit. Look, it's theirs. But then listening to Marius's voice, it's soothing and calm, and it brings you back to perspective. You're like, okay, non-judgmental, fine, I'll stand right here, calm. Meanwhile, no, man, it's still their responsibility. Fucking mate, they look. If you don't know what I say, sod ya. Yeah, it was going to get to that. I don't know. It's just going to get to that stage.
Well, you know, for some reason, and I was like, interesting. It didn't come up when I was speaking about it, but it's about the resonance frequency, the frequency that we resonate with, right? Because the only one that gets offended is the one that is on a lower frequency. The higher your frequency is, the less you're gonna get offended, because you'll understand it. Well, that's where that person is in their journey. So,
but isn't the actual the act of the offense, the act of being offended, isn't that itself an expression right there?
That's a good point.
Right? Because I'm like, you know what I mean? As they say, you say something and everything's cool in your head, and you're like, what? And right there is an expression.
Right.
Right? So, because, and that's one, and you know, I don't know, maybe that's the reason why I brought this one up, because I thought, yeah, expression, this is going to be everything. So no matter who you are, where you are in the world, man, do you know what I mean? You're about to latch onto this one. Because even if you're standing there offended because somebody's expressed themselves, right there, you're expressing yourself. Right there, standing there offended, tapping your foot, looking mean, whatever you want to, before you've even said anything. And that's the reality right there. You know, you speak, somebody's speaking. And then before they finish, like 2 sentences before they finish, and they've gone in, people are frowning and looking at them. Can't wait to speak. As soon as he finishes speaking, I agree with you.
And what happens when usually the person waits to speak next? What really happens?
And it's through our immersion in our own experience. I can't stress that enough, because you are the architect. You are the pilot of your journey. You're the actor, the thespian. Now, you could take the lead role and talk into said Yorick's head, or you could be a little extra at the back that doesn't have many lines at all and doesn't like to be seen. A meek little butterfly. It is your choice. Completely your choice. Now, the insightful aspect of all of that is you now are aware, you have been made privy to, again, like you heard me say the other day, you are now illuminated into the insightfulness of your possibility, where you therefore are the architect, you are the director, you are the key star, or if you wish, the quiet little extra of your own existence. That in itself is insightful. Fascinating.
Hello?
What happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
happens when the person is waiting to speak? What happens?
Oh, right. Normally, if they're waiting to speak, you see an environment like that, then the majority of what the person is saying prior doesn't register. There's just a couple words, maybe like a word out of each sentence, maybe two if they're triggering words, if they're words that have been used by the system a lot, they'll latch onto those. And then when it comes time for that person to speak, and the other person says, all right, then I've said what I need to say, they launch themselves off. Launching, right, in an expression, right? In an expression, right? Launching their expression to whatever it's going to be as a result of, you know, as a result of them waiting. Even when you're waiting, you're expressing. Even when you're just sitting there quiet, waiting on the other side of the conversation, that's an expression too.
Okay. What about you, Carl? What do you think? What do you think?
I don't think.
He just does.
Yeah, well, what would be your perspective? What does really happen when someone is just waiting to speak?
Well, there's a multitude of things going on, isn't there? In all sense and purposes, nothing. Nothing and everything. That's what happens when you're sat there waiting for whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah. You know, or you could explore, you know, we could, if you wanted to, the multitude of myriad of freaking things that could be going on in your brain. You know, quite often people seem to have developed an unconscious talent, right, to listen to speak as opposed to listen to hear. People have a tendency to pick up on a word within that sentence that they don't agree with or is triggering and forget the whole content in which it was presented. So you find lots of individuals then being triggered and demanding change, and well, if you don't think like me, then you're at XYZ. But the reality of the situation is nothing happens. Nothing happens while you're there waiting, and everything happens because within that moment is the potentiality of unlimited potential. And that includes themselves.
Right. No, that's two great perspectives. One thing that was coming to mind is the fact that by waiting to speak, you're not going to listen to hear, as you said, Carl, right? And also what Yanni brought to the point that you're going to hear certain triggering words and you hang on to that and you start thinking of what to say about that word and that word, but you're not listening to the point that the person is making. And maybe the person, because he's on a way of making a point, he will bring certain things into the discussions that may be triggering, but it will all make sense if you listen till the end to what the point is being, the point that is being made.
Where did he go?
Did we lose him?
He just popped off.
That's funny.
Maybe a power instrument went down. But good point though, Marius, though. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. You know, there isn't going to, they won't have resonated with the original point made because the trigger words were the ones that drew their attention.
Yeah.
And because those trigger words existed in the it just existed in the sentence, it's almost like, no, but I can't hear those words. When I have a conversation, those words can no longer come up. So you find the protest becomes more of a silencing. It becomes more of an editing, more of a deleting. Now, when we have a conversation, you just can't use that word. If you don't say that word, and I won't get triggered, everything will be fine.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting how the mind gets busy with thinking of what to do, what to say next instead of listening.
Right.
So that's where it blocks the message. It doesn't make the connection. It doesn't listen to the entire discussion to connect the dots. So
Right.
it's just focusing on what actually wasn't said.
Right.
And he will probably assume certain things when they start speaking, saying that you said this and that, and actually the person didn't say it because he didn't say in that way. He said it in a different way, which meant something totally different. So it's interesting when we develop the skill of listening, not to listen just to be there, but to listen to hear what's been said. Then that's a totally different approach.
Right.
Welcome back, Carl.
Welcome.
Hello. Sorry about that. I had a
Welcome,
phone call come through and it, for whatever reason, cut me off.
That's right.
You're back, and we're grateful.
Thanks.
Hang on, wait a minute, Marius. Could you call up Spikes and tell him call off the search? It's all good. He's here. Cheers. Because I don't want problems now. Just fucking go run amok. Boss, I can't find him, boss. I fucking cleared the whole place.
Oh, that's funny.
But very good. But good point, though, Marius. Yeah, good final one. Good. Yeah, clean. And very clean. And if you too, ladies and gentlemen, would like to be as clean as Marius, why don't you purchase his new bar of soap?
You were
His
spoke
new
for
brand
choice
of
there.
soap.
These baby wipes. Get these new fresh baby wipes.
Marius baby wipes.
They've been developed by the army. They're the best. Yeah, it leaves your skin smooth and soapy and smelling fresh.
Yeah.
You don't need to take a shower ever again.
Yeah, that you know what? If you tell a group of people, right? Yeah, use take Febreze, spray this over you. Spray this
They
over
would
your
do it.
furniture. Right? Spray this over your furniture, and that way you won't have to clean that shit, right?
Do you know
You'll
if they
get
come
rid of
out,
the odor.
if they come out with a Febreze that did people would buy that. If you're smelling right, just well, they have, didn't they? It's called deodorants and all this.
Deodorant, exactly. Do you know what I mean? But it's kind of funny when you see.
If you haven't got time for a wash, spray yourself with this, known to kill 99% of known bacteria and household smells.
But it's funny that you guys brought up the wipes because I came across an advert on Instagram about some wipes. Exactly what you guys were talking about. That's why I came up with that. Yeah, and it's gonna leave your skin smoothly and soapy, smelly, and lovely smell and all that because they're already promoting such things that you can, and they've been developed by the army apparently.
Oh wow! So that's why you said that. Developed by the
So they are promoting all that. You don't need to take a shower anymore because it's bad for the environment. Get us wipes and just wipe yourself.
I was got presented with a morbid advert indeed. Yeah, just a morbid advert. Just if you are having a bad day in the trenches and you can't get that camo paint off, well, get this. This is known to kill 99% of germs and get rid of bloodstains. Do you know what I mean? Developed by your own special branch of the armed forces. Darren, there's oil and blood on your collar. Darling, get me the wipes. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same with the super glue, right? The super glue and how many toxins are in the super glue.
Do you know? Go on.
But when you look what the super glue was designed for, right? At the beginning, what was the design for? It was actually for wool, right? For the wounds to stick up the wounds. Yeah. It wasn't designed for what we use it today in today's world. But when you look at all the toxins in that bloody thing. Well, as long as it takes the one, doesn't matter what happens to you after that.
You know what I mean? You better hope that your body processes out the rest of that crap.
Do you know what? I know it's totally off subject, right? But super glue nowadays is rubbish. I don't know what's happened to super glue. I think people kept sticking themselves together because I remember super glue from back in the day. You couldn't get a drop of that on anything.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Yeah, you're not
zero,
even
nothing.
Not even for a second. Just I've stuck my fingers together. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
but,
and you really have.
And then you really have.
Yeah,
you really have.
Like if you put a knife through there, you're cutting skin. You know, when you go to the hospital, it's skin's getting cut off because they don't know what. It literally melds your skin together.
Yeah, I don't know what it did. It like broke it down and stuck it back together.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's because they start making it all sorts of different kind of super glue now. This is for wood, and this is for plastic, and this is for this, and this is for that. Right.
Yeah,
before it was just super glue, right? It's the same
and it was that. It was super. Yeah, it was super glue.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you thought you had glue, this thing you could, because they would advertise it like you're stuck. Like they would get somebody and stick the geezer to.
No, that was that wallpaper paste advert, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there you go. The
stick the fella above the shark tank.
Yeah. It's hanging from it. It's stuck to it. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's just because chemicals, bruv. Chemicals, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, but back then they had the real thing. The real thing.
Who was it? Who was it? I can't remember what comedian said it recently. Right? It was about how products have become terrible and more rubbish and everything else because, people that weren't that clever and unfortunately children and stuff like that getting hold of these products and dying, etc. Right? And this comedian turned around and said, we've done that for long enough. Right? Let's just take the labels off stuff. Right? And just let that run for a little while, right? And then we'll have a much more fucking considered society. Do you know what I mean? Because
you give me back to the Ricky Gervais comment with the
that's what I'm getting at. Granted, in an ideal world, that's not exactly normal, but if you don't know not to drink bleach, then maybe I can't say that. I can't finish that sentence.
funny when you give
Oh,
message. Just
shit.
take that warning off for 1 year.
Yeah, take it off for 1 year. You see that? Lucky I did that. Did we do the quick?
The disclaimer.
Did we do the quick disclaimer there?
Yeah,
then
yeah,
because
yeah,
of
we
the
did.
because of the security. All right.
But yeah,
That's
moving back to the expression, you know, the dumbing down, and where do we go there?
I don't know.
But nobody
down,
mentioned
yeah.
anything like that.
About dumbing down.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
You did.
I did. So
Well done.
I did.
Let's
Well,
wrap-
that seems
let's
to be
wrap.
something that's happened as well, isn't it? If you tell people that to look at
That sounds
alternative
triggery. I'm
information,
offended. What do you mean dumb?
that's all right. Nothing's going to happen. Go to bed, have a glass of water. You'll feel fine tomorrow.
Offended by the fact that he used the word dumb. He used the word
Dumb. And now I'm offended because the only dumb that you can use is for Dumbo or Dumb and Dumber. That's it. You can't use dumb like that because it's not fair on dumb people.
I could have been referring to deep underground military bases,
Well, still, it's not fair on dumb people.
but apparently you're not allowed to talk about them either.
So let's not talk about dumb people then, shall we?
Should we talk about military dumbs then?
We can call them. Well, I mean, I don't know anything about them, but if you do, feel free.
Well, what I mean by dumb down, right, is that if you rob people of the information and the room to make an informed comprehension of the situation at hand, and you rob them of the environment where they can explore that linguistically without the oversight of a prison fucking sentence, then you end up with a broader thinking society. You have a lot more dexterity in your nation's populist thinking capability. But the moment you start to chip away at people's expressions on what they can and what they can't do, you end up with this really fucking disjointed human being that's detached from common sense. And unfortunately, that's a dangerous human being. Not necessarily that they're going to get you with a machete and gun you down. It's just, that's the kind of human being that says, I was just taking orders.
Well, also that can be the case as well with the machete. But
Well, yeah. But, I don't know what's worse, one lone person with a machete or an army of people just following orders.
You went there.
I did.
Well, if you... yes, you did go there. The army of people following orders. What has happened to their ability to self-express? Has it been nurtured? Are they an example of what it is to have yourself fostered and nurtured to bring forth the best of your possible expression? Is this what we see in this example?
Do the army, in the army, from my experience, we can't express in the army. You have to follow the orders. Sorry. Yeah, that's how it is, right? No one gives a damn about what you have to express. We used to have a say in when I was in the army. If you have any problems, write back home to your mom. Feel sorry out for you. So when you talk about army is it's a totally different environment. Well, we can see that this is being kind of pushed onto everyone else, because when we look at censorship, it's like you've been ordered not to do that, then you have to obey the order. Doesn't it sound like that?
Doesn't it sound like that?
Well, not only sound, that's how it is actually. You have to obey the order. Otherwise, you end up being punished for not obeying the order.
I'll speak to you about that nervous laugh of yours.
I know. I did get punished a couple of times in the army for not obeying the orders, by the way. So sorry. I have an issue with obeying.
Are you sorry?
I'm not sorry, really.
Why did you say it?
Just to be nice and kind.
So you censored yourself on the
Yes.
expression on the
Stop
podcast
picking
about expression.
Stop picking on it. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, no, you're right. We do want to be nice to people at the same time. And that may be the issue.
But do we? Collectively, it doesn't look like that.
Now, collectively, yeah, no, you got a point there. Go on.
No, I'm just saying, do we?
Mm.
Dum 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 doo 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 doo.
What about you, Ian? You've been quiet.
Just listening, gentlemen. Just listening, taking it in.
You've been awfully quiet. That's
No,
nonsense.
just taking it in, taking it in, enjoying the dialogue between you two.
So, where has it got us, this observation of expression? We explored the comprehensions that some conform without question new rules that are suggested, and in turn chastise those that do not, i.e. in the simple realm of verbal linguistics, non-combative argument. There are people that won't say things through fear of reprisal. Unfortunately, to think you run risk of offending someone. It's part of the gift. You have to be responsible with it. But it doesn't mean that you have to censor yourself, not even to discuss various situations that are going on in the world. And some of them really do need the general populace's discussion. However, if we do not, then it's business as usual, and business as usual at the minute is plenty for them, less for us, more freedoms for them, and less for us. And remember, this is why you're busy doing something else. So,
this question comes up, Carl, quickly. What's the benefit of being offended? Do we want to explore that? What's the benefit?
the one benefit I could surmise just off the top of the hat with the emergence of the question is it gives you an opportunity to explore something that you may not have been aware of within yourself, therefore giving you an opportunity to expand and gain greater comprehension of your own existence and your own internalized thinking mechanism.
Right. The other one that comes up to my mind is, I have one apparently, is, well, the benefit of being offended is that it gives you that power to control the other side on what they can or cannot say.
Now run that by me again.
So the
It
benefit
gives
of
it-
being offended, it gives you the power of censoring the other side and not allowing them to express.
Well, it doesn't necessarily give you the power because the other person could not listen.
That's the one that you don't get the power, but there is a lot of them that they do. Right?
I guess, yeah. Well, this brings us back to the earlier point about people's acquiescence to new norms without question.
Right.
Mm.
No, you brought a good point earlier about the information, rubbing them on the information, and then after that, I would say that we live in the times where people are not robbed of the information, but they are confused with different types of information of somewhat what's been happening lately, people's discernment of filtering those informations and be able to actually look at both sides instead of choosing just be biased and just know this is what I know and this is what I look at, and not looking at the other side as well and put it into balance, see which one makes sense.
And even that sense is only a particular life's lens observation, isn't it? It's a particular position
Right.
that one's taking at the time. Yeah. So it's a crazy world, this expression, isn't it? How we censor ourselves because of certain situations, how society is certainly openly censoring not everybody, but particular groups, which is insightful and should be alarming to some. If this is news to you, it should be alarming that some groups are censored and others aren't.
Well, it looks like the minority ain't censored, but the majority are. And it kind of takes me to that transformer agenda, which is an interesting one. Did I go there? I did. Oh, well, whatever. But it looks like certain group is allowed to express themselves however they want to feel like, even if they feel like they want to be dogs or act like dogs because they can't be dogs. They should be allowed, apparently, to express that. But anyone else that expresses their view on that, they're being censored. Or does it make sense?
Does it make sense? Does it? I don't know. Can you make sense of nonsense?
Can you?
I don't know. That's what I believe what they're trying to propose, isn't it? You know, here, take this nonsense and accept it as sense. No. There's my answer. No. I'm just going to carry on doing what I was doing. Thank you very much. And until you present something that makes sense, I shall continue to do what I feel makes sense, what you consider nonsense. Okay? So we're both in agreement. We're both doing nonsense in other people's eyes. So high fives. Let's try work that out somewhere along the line together, maybe. That might work. You know? Just an idea.
How the things that we've known for thousands of years in today's world are being questioned. I'll give you an example. Biologically, we are born male or female.
Why is that funny?
It ain't funny at all.
Because it's your nervous
laugh.
laugh.
Yeah, it's a nervous laugh. It's like, what the fuck? Seriously? So for thousands of years, we knew it's a fact. We are born male and female. But then in today's world, that it's being challenged and it's being changed. Now you're not male or female. No, that's not acceptable. Let's create a new way of expressing that. And it's like, you know, a pregnant woman is not a pregnant woman. It's a baby carrier or whatever. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
I love this.
How do people accept that?
I was just
How
about
do
to say.
people accept that?
I think it's lovely, this idea of acceptance, you know. It's like, oh, we're not going to accept that. Well, cool. Okay. I weren't looking to get accepted by you anyway. You're not quite my penis, if you know what I mean. High fives, though. All right? That's where I'm at. You know, the moment you accept yourself, you don't need to be accepted by anybody else.
Right.
Oh, that's a bit
That's
fucking
the
up
key of
yourself.
acceptance,
That's
isn't
the
it?
fucking key, isn't it? That's fucking
Right.
lesson 101 in human existence. Accept who you are.
And accept the fact that others may not accept.
There you go. There you go. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I look at people like we could look at the World Wide Web. If you don't get it, cool. Look, if I take a few steps this way, it's like swiping left or right on a technical device, fundamentally, isn't it? I don't like what this person's saying on their particular post. All right, watch this. They've disappeared. Did you see what happened then? Hang on, let's keep going. Thump, thump, thump. Oh, you see this one? Let's have a listen to this. Oh, I don't like what they're saying either. No, I don't agree with that at all. What a fucking knobhead. But watch this. Thump. He's gone. You see, and life can be like that if you wish. You know, these characters that present themselves that are undesirable to you, well, just keep fucking walking. Unless you actually want to get into it with them. But never forget that they have just as much right to express themselves as you do. They've got as every right to pray to whomever they want to as much as you do. Right? And censorship is like how the banks view debt. Right? Banks don't worry about debt. The only people that have debt is the people that worry about them. That apparently comes from the core of the banking community. So in this instance, I treat it the same way. They don't agree with me. They don't accept me. It's all right. I don't worry about it. I'm not fussed. The people that I care about love the fuck out of me. The people I speak to on a daily basis think I'm cool as I think they're cool. The interactions I have with people on a face-to-face basis are either proactive and they're moving forward, or we don't vibe. And that's the end of it. That's the end of it. I don't want them to be cancelled or run off the face of the planet. Do your thing. Do your thing. And I hope you win, whatever it is. What you want to take over the world? Fuck. I might have something to do with that when you try to sort of like tell me and some of my kin and stuff. But, you know, go for it. Go for it. I want to see if you do it. Seriously. And just watch them. Yeah, look at that one. That one. This one's going to take over the world. He's trying to take over the world. Yeah, honestly. He's faking. He's got a poster of Napoleon. Oh, he loves him, right? He's a bit nuts, right? But if he gets it, if he does it right, if he wins in his local community on the local elections, right, he might get it. He might, you know. And all power to him. I don't know. I think he's a dickhead, but all power to him. And that's the end of it. I don't lose no sleep. I don't freak out. I don't think, oh my God, this person that's in authority, I don't agree with them. Well, don't fucking listen to them. Either they're going to make laws that I'm going to have to adhere to. No, you're not. Honestly, I speak from experience. You can do an awful lot that you're not allowed to do. And I laugh because I know that's absurd. But it's true too. Honestly. All this stops when we stop acquiescing to nonsense and stop repeating it as sense. You know, I made this statement on many of these podcasts now, right? Power is given, not taken. You know, I can't drive that home enough. It's given, not taken. I'm going to give it to you one more. You ready for this? It's given, not taken. Anybody that doesn't agree with you, anybody that's speaking outside of your particular comfort bubble, anybody that believes in something that you don't believe in, it's cool. You believe in something, you should be well comfortable within yourself anyway. If you're solidified within you who you are and have basically a theosophical belief structure, this idea of something prior to your existence, maybe what your existence is all about and what's to come after it, then it absolutely frees you from all of that nonsense. You empower yourself about the rules of the game, by policing consent. Oh my God, that opens up a lovely playing ground of verbal tennis with those that think they have jurisdiction. The moment you can verbalize and distinguish yourself from the corporate other and the fiction, etc., you're winning. But it's up to you. It's your choice. But nothing happens when you're offended. And if you get censored, it means you may be saying the right thing, especially in today's world. But at the same time, if you're just spouting off some crazy nonsense, right, and getting a social platform for it, and then you're one of these individuals that stumble across it and go, oh, I don't know what they say, and they say something against my group, they should be cancelled. Well, fill your boots. Do what you're doing. Do what you're doing. But I can guarantee you, those that you are now loathing and are festering inside your brain are most probably living their best life. Some of them are most probably making out. Some of them are most probably just getting married. Some of them are on a holiday in Marbella having the best time. Some of them even might be getting hair. While you're sit there all ugly faced in front of your computer demanding change. That's fucking, they said something and I don't agree with it. Something should be happening. Why? Turn it off. Find somebody who inspires you instead of turns you into a bag of dribbling mess. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. The moment you empower yourself with the tools fucking capable enough to navigate this world and see it for what it is, just a whole bunch of energy expressing itself in a really weird way. Cosmologically, the all soul playing fucking hide and seek with itself. Then it becomes exactly that, doesn't it? Theatrics, parlor tricks, cosplay. That's what we're doing. We're doing human cosplay. But some of that will most probably go over your heads. And that's okay, innit? It's okay. Innit?
What say you, Henry?
It's falling asleep. Beats gone to sleep. I don't know what's happening to Yanni. He's most probably nipped off and got to make a brew quick. But it is what it is. He might be with us. I don't know what's going on. He might be talking to us. Why can't I hear me? I don't know. One or two. So this human expression and merriness. What do you think of the conversation thus far?
It is indeed. Conversation thus far.
What else could we possibly explore? Sure, there's loads.
Well, I'll tell you what we could explore. I don't know where your hand is at. But we can explore that particular time, that right time. When, it's that time when the right honorable friend, brother, Carl, what's on the pinboard? By Carl.
Hit the pinboard, Mary.
Hit the pinboard.
Sorry. I don't even want to do it again. It was like, I just don't feel inspired enough by your introduction.
Oh.
Want more energy, more power, more energy, more power, more energy.
It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time. It's that time when our wonderful friend, our reliable brother, our honorable Lord, Carl, we hit the pinball with Carl.
Thank you very much, Marius. Thank you very much. What's on the pinboard today? Well, the topic of the conversation, that's what's on the pinboard today. How about it? What say you? I say that's a good idea, don't you? Are we allowed to listen to our own inner monologue? Sometimes it tells us all kinds of crazy things, doesn't it? Like poke that person in the eye with a pencil. Oh, not you? Just me then. Well, it's a funny old thing, isn't it? Being able to express yourself and the restrictions we place on ourselves. I'll give you an example. I just looked up at a chrome bulldog and I noticed just then that its neck and its skin muscle running into its lower jaw looks like the base of a penis. Some people say that's not good radio. You can't say that. What do you say that for? Well, it's expression, isn't it? Being able to whimsically just tap into that what's being presented to you. Without the fear of persecution, ridicule, and in some cases being sacked from your job because of something you said outside of your workplace. The moment you begin to really embody whom you are as an individual, as you heard me mention earlier on, all this becomes a nonsense. We can't make sense of nonsense. If it's nonsense, there is no sense. And if there is no sense to the nonsense they're masquerading and parading as sense, it'll be nonsense to try to adhere to it. Because you will find yourself in a quagmire, a dirty, horrible, boggy moor, constantly having peat suck at your boots as you try to walk through, slowly feeling the lynches working their way up your legs to suck on your blood. As the life force slowly dwindles from your very corpse, your carcass, your vessel is becoming weak and laborious. Legs are getting heavier. It all becomes just too much, doesn't it? Listen to these nonsensical mouthpieces telling you one thing while hopefully and publicly doing something else, chastising one social group and demographic and then holding aloft and celebrating another, all under the guise of diversity. If we're going to be living in a world of expression, then you have to let us express ourselves. I choose those words. I didn't choose. They came. Have to let you express yourself. Going back to Marius's antisocial aspect when it comes to Orwellian orders, that you have to do it. Do it really? Why, I ask, we have to conform to your policing of speech? Because that's what it is. Policing of speech. Policing of people's ability to express themselves. And let's just say you grow up in a rather bizarre part of your landmass, and there is an awful lot of dialect that is only used in your particular area, street vernacular fundamentally, and then you're thrust into a corporate world just by chance. You've been given an opportunity to represent something that could change your life forever, and then you do it in your unique way, the only way you know how, and that way of knowing how is filled with expletives, inflammatory comments and dogma, but it's how you talk. It's how your peers talk. It's how your siblings talk. It's how your parents talk. And then all of a sudden, the very comprehension that you have, but you've only got the tools that you've been exposed to express that, now you've been robbed of the chance. Because people were upset you didn't use the correct vernacular, because you didn't use the correct words. Some of these words most probably absolutely oblivious to you of their even existence. And you're being chastised for that. You've heard me touch upon it before about the ownership of our expressions. When we express ourselves, the moment you can embody the realization that once that vibratory pattern has left your face, no longer in your control. We have no idea how it's going to nestle in that eardrum of somebody else, and then through electric impulse shoot up through that ear canal into the synapses and connections within the brain, and then your own life filter decodes that in some way that made you the victim. They were talking about me. No, they were talking about an observations of the world. Well, I felt something. Well, that lets you know that you're still alive, and that's a good thing, I can assure you. But instead of demanding that this person be cancelled, struck off, deleted from Earth's history and the internet's historical fucking record, how about do the work of introspection and work out why you were so easily triggered into a state of unconceivable mumblings of shell identity process fucking shite, well wrapped up in a bundle of vulnerable eye focus. The work is actually worth it. Oh, but it's difficult. I don't quite understand what you mean. Well, keep fucking doing it. Keep doing it till you get it. Keep doing it till you realize that you're not the experience, but the observation of it. And when you've cultivated that awareness, then you've got a beautiful plethora of gifts at your disposal, one of which is the ability to go, I don't agree with that, and walk off. I don't agree with 95% of what you said, but that last bit, yeah, I agree with you on that. Now we can have a conversation. Instead of being repulsed and enraged at that what is different, by developing one's introspection, you award yourself the tools to see what you have in common, so you can build bridges. You can see and comprehend from third-person perspective the shoes of somebody else's life's lens, which makes for a more conducive, a more coercive society, where people are striving to help one another and elevate one another to greater understanding. A few hundred years ago, the elders of the tribe would be the custodians of knowledge, while the younger toiled and labored and hunted and weaved. The young played and frolicked and were educated by those that had lived far longer than their parents. And we've handed that over. Oh, now we have to say this. Who says mummy? Who says daddy? Well, the man on the telly. Oh. Unaware of the psychological effect that you've now placed and planted within the children. But the man on the telly's word is gospel. And if you live long enough, you get to see that there's very, very, very much a double-tier system. A very, very, very clear two-tier judicial system. And a very, very, very self-serving, maniacal shadow group operating behind the scenes to bring about a lack, a diminishing, a diluting, a out-and-out robbery of people's ability to express themselves outside of a collected group's norm. It's been made an offense. And by doing so, has made people an offense. Good citizens, well-educated individuals are now given the moniker and the label of domestic terrorists because they have the ability to think outside of the accepted narrative. That should alarm so many of you. At least to the point where you begin to empower yourself the ability to speak. Use your words. Empower yourself. Realize that they say you cannot do, you can. And the more of us that do, the more obvious it becomes to those that think we can't, that they had no power in the first place. That is what's on the pinboard.
I don't have the board. Can you use that?
What? Give myself a round of applause. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't think I've got one. See, I haven't got one. I don't know what button. It's not that one either. There you go. Thank you very much. I'm giving myself a very well done, and I've won the top prize of a £250 vacation in Bognor Regis. There you go.
No, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. You know, and the one thing is like simple, right? Oh, what's happened? He's gone. Interesting. Ian, are you there? Oh, there he's back.
I don't know what's going on with this one, mate. I don't know what's going on with this one.
Oh, interesting. But yeah. So the point I was going to make is it's so simple. If you want to have the right to be offended, whoever that person is that wants the right to be offended, then the other side has the right to express themselves. Because as Yanni established earlier, even to be offended, it's a form of expression.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So it can't be one without the other. If you want to be offended, then you need someone that has to express themselves, right? In order to. What's happening? Who's calling?
I'm calling Iyani in the background.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, so that's what I was, listening to. Is like, it's so simple if you think about it. Yeah, you want to be offended? Be offended.
Right, exactly. Be offended. Exactly.
Oh, there he is.
That sounded like somebody fell asleep. Did you fall asleep, mate? Tell me
Nah,
you did.
mate.
Tell me you did.
Nah, mate. Just got delivered a beautiful kiss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there.
Oh.
Tasty. Love it.
There you go. Expression, ladies and gentlemen, right here in the middle of the show. Stop down, to put tools down to, could we hypothesize service, said girlfriend.
I was
For it
thinking,
is
how
a
far you
verb.
gonna go? How
It
far
is.
you gonna go?
I know it is a form of expression, isn't it? But yeah, I'd say I don't know how long we've been going now because I've had to start a few times. So
Well, I don't know. You guys were on for a while before I joined, so I've got 134 minutes plus whatever 20-30 minutes prior to that. So there you go.
all right. Well, we could tip up a Yanni for a tip of the day, couldn't we?
Tip of the day.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we could do tip of the day, but did we not? But you know, prior to tip of the day, you know what happens, don't you?
What happened?
Well, prior to tip of the day, if I'm not mistaken, unless there's wait,
We done that
Unless-
while you were kissing.
what Carl did is
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, gentlemen, ladies, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Bloody hell, mate, nodded out like a proper lord in the house of lords.
Yes, we hit the minutes. We done that earlier on in the discussion. Yes, we certainly did.
Okay, well, in that case, then, so where are we? So, when did you just finish it?
Yeah, a couple of minutes ago, I suppose. Oh, there we go. That's fabulous.
Talk about timing, right?
Yeah, I know. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, as I've just finished, right, and we seem to be coming to a natural conclusion on this short and sweet one this week, from what I can see, on expression. Was it expression? Yeah, I'm sure it was. And but right now it is that time for the one, the only, the sensational, the mysterious, the incomprehensible, the unmissable, the undeniable, the desirable, right honourable and learned Iani with tip of the day.
Thank you, my friends. You see, that's the reason why I got to upgrade my thing, because it's on for as long as we've been on, and then just then when I went to speak, the audio was silent. I had to literally switch it off and switch it back on again. Hence, I got to move up a touch. You know what I mean? Can't catch up with you guys a bit. But tip of the day. Tip of the day. Now then. We've been talking about expression, expressing, the many different forms of expression, and some of the consequences of those expressions, and even some expressions that we didn't know were expressions until we spoke about them. So, and they're expressions. And amongst all of that, we find ourselves with tip of the day. And tip of the day is really to do with this. Express yourself. Don't worry about whether people like it or not. Just express it anyway. Because most people do. And don't allow the onus to be on you. Tax yourself to tax yourself during expression. You're just about to express yourself and you suddenly tax yourself. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not it. It's not it. Express yourself fully. Express yourself completely. And let others have to deal. Let others educate themselves, increase their neuroplasticity, expand their mind, be more accepting. Let others do that. It's not your place to teach them what to do. It's your place to be you. It's your place to express yourself. That's about it. That's all I've got, really. Express yourself. Be you. That's my tip of the day.
Lovely. Straight to the point. Be you, be true, be who you got to be to get through. Is what it is. Well, gentlemen, fabulous, fabulous tip of the day to round it all up there. So, gentlemen, any closing thoughts on this particular Sunday? To round all this up.
Particular thoughts for the Sunday. To round it up, one must ask themselves a question. What is today? What is today? One must ask themselves, what's today? Well, I understand that depending on where you are in the world, in the West, depending on where you are, today is a day of reflection, especially for those who are among the Christian faith. It's also a day to remember for those who love to eat chocolate and Easter eggs. It's a great day. It's a great day. If you're a child, it's a wonderful day because today's probably when you do the bunny hunt, the egg hunt. You know what I mean? You just look for eggs, coloured eggs around the spot. I won't do a spoiler alert, children, or anything like that. I won't do a spoiler alert. Or should I? They put them there. Shh. Mum and Dad did that. No spoiler alert. As I munched the second piece of second gummy for children. No, gummy. Thought, mate. Thought. Yeah. My thought for today really is the upside down world that I wake up to. The upside down world that I go to bed to. The quantum world that I've just stepped into, that I wake up and go to bed to. That's all. Nothing else.
Okay. Nothing more, nothing less. Marius, I like what you did there, though, as well, Yanni. You went there, but you didn't go there. I like what you did. Marius, any closing words from yourself, mate?
Well, that was an interesting topic, right? Expression. Well, what other point to make with just the fact that you're being offended is an expression in its own right, like Yanni said earlier, right? So, we live in a world where everyone gets offended by whatever someone else says based on their view on the world and what they accept or don't accept. At the same time, the ones that get offended will have to ask themselves, okay, but am I saying anything that offends others? Same, I am offended. And if that's the case, then is it okay to allow people to express themselves despite the fact that some may choose to be offended? Or should we just police ourselves in a way that we're not allowed to explore ourselves and express ourselves the way we not just feel like, but just the way we are. So yeah, if you're offended, ask yourself, do you offend someone else? Are you aware of it?
No, no, that's great. That's great. That's great. My last phony words, right, is basically pick up from where Iani left off, right? But they're not my words. These are the words of an unsigned, well, not an unsigned, a privately signed, an independent musician. I'm going to give you these words because, it is Easter if you buy into that and everything else. And it's held as very important for some. But have a listen to this just before we go.
Breaking news. Joe Biden has declared Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. Joe, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding. Jesus came back from the dead on Sunday. He didn't come back as a woman. I mean, seriously, is a day of visibility even necessary? Because they're visible, Joe. Because everywhere I look, there's a pregnant man dominating in women's sports, or a rainbow flag, or a Miss Universe that looks more like a Mr. Rogers, or a group of people who identify as pancakes trying to force feed themselves to a classroom full of third graders. They're visible. We can see them. Hey, maybe we could have a day of invisibility, where we don't have to pretend that the adult man bagging our groceries is a beautiful lady. What's next? Christmas is going to be Men's Menstrual Cycle Day. Thanksgiving's going to be the Feather Festival to bring awareness to people who identify as birds. Let's just rename Monday to Gay Day. Instead of hiding little chocolate eggs on Easter, maybe we can hide candy-coated coupons for gender reassignment surgery. Or hey, maybe instead of blatantly trolling Christians, we could just spend a little more time not running the country into the ground. Happy Easter, everyone. Breaking news. Joe
There
Biden...
you go. I just thought I'd share that with you. Some of you most probably won't be aware of that. But from the rest of us here, that's a lot. Ta-da.
We like that. What a great ending.
Yeah, that was classic. That was classic.
That was, wasn't it?
See you later, gents.
Later.
Later.